Hi, guys. How is everyone? Day 2, right? I am Kim Ressler, live in Southern California, and he was talking about purpose. And I retired actually in 2007. That was the onslaught of my own health challenges. And I tried everything for 11 years, and I really feel I was gifted a technology that I get to share with you. So this is about you, and that's what I'm about. Welcoming you to the future of health and human performance, healthy aging, where your genetics become your greatest advantage, okay? So many of us think that we're born with our genes and that's just what we have and we can't do anything about it. Guess what? We can, and science has proven that. I don't have a clicker. Was I supposed to?
Yes. You're gonna get one.
Sorry, I took it.
Oh, that's okay.
There you go.
Okay.
Can I keep you on this area?
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
No, but just keep here. Then you're in the light so we can see your... I know.
And I'm shiny. And is it blinding you? I'm really sorry. So everything I'm going to talk today about, and we're going to get to case studies of actually how we can personalize for you guys. We can actually personalize to stop all of those supplement stacks and crazy things that you're trying to do, okay? As always, this presentation is for educational purposes only. All right, so we believe optimizing at the source, your DNA, instead of chasing symptoms. That's what I did for 11 years. 11 years of chasing symptoms. Allopathic, Ayurveda, naturopathic, you name it, I was doing it. Nobody ever went to my genetics and told me what was going on and how I could optimize. So we know that the future, and you all have heard it, the future of health and wellness is personalized. You are an individual. I see you. Not the masses, not your neighbor, not your husband, etc. It's about you. NIH has said by 2030, the future of health and wellness will be personalized. Guess what? It's already here. I've got it. I've been working with this technology for 8 years. I have watched it change thousands of people's lives. So the problem in the past, for those of you that did your genetics, you got a lot of polygenic risk scores. They told you all of these different things, and then they gave you all of these different recommendations, right? And you're sitting here going, oh my gosh, that's been the problem. The problem in the past, how do you decode it without having a PhD? Are you gonna really take 70 to 100 supplements a day? You guys, it makes me laugh. And I see it constantly, even with providers I work with. They'll come to me, they'll do their genetics, and they'll go, oh my gosh, I just did this blood work, and it was telling me I'm just so out of whack here. I am doing too much where I don't need to be, right? So we've made a solution. We decode your DNA, we identify exactly where the support's needed, and we deliver the right nutrients in the right format just for you. No guesswork, this isn't hype, this is foundation. And in my opinion, if you are considered yourself a biohacker, understanding your genes so you know what you're biohacking, that's where you need to start. I believe that understanding your genetics is the step into everything. So what we're gonna talk about today, we're gonna talk about how DNA impacts your body's ability to detox, metabolism, mood, longevity, why some people's bodies struggle even with the perfect lifestyle. That was me, eating really clean, 6 to 7 miles a day and hiking, Pilates 3-4 times a week. Nobody could understand why I didn't feel well, right? So which vulnerabilities nutrition can actually help? I don't care if you have a propensity to have a unibrow. I really don't. And I know that's what some of these genetic results will tell you. I care about how you're gonna age and how we can simply nourish you at a genetic level, okay? So let's talk a little bit about my story. Yes, this is me with dark hair. I decided, and that was me just a couple months ago, believe it or not. I decided to let it go natural. Anyway, and so many people have walked up to me, Kim, I've seen you so many places, I didn't recognize you with the gray hair. Nothing did transform my health. As I said, I went 11 years undiagnosed, misdiagnosed, with multiple different little things going on. It wasn't in my mind. I did have a good mindset. It was that my body was lacking things. So let's talk about this. Before, it was chronic fatigue. Sleepless nights, couldn't sleep. Now I'll hold out my Oura Ring score to anybody and show them the crowns from the month. I don't have that issue. Brain fog, irritability, no libido. Women, I'm telling you, no libido. It was terrible. And I was like, wait, I just turned 40. This can't be happening. Is this what life's about? And the chronic aches and inflammation. After understanding and addressing my genetics, everything changed for me. It was like flipping on light switches. And I was like, wow, is this what it's supposed to be like? I didn't think that turning 40 and suddenly everything was turning off for me. That shouldn't be the way it should be. So mind you, this was over nearly 15 years ago, right? All right, so my question to you, what's ailing your body? Are you struggling with weight management, cardiovascular health, cognitive function, detox, the body's ability to detox, because we need to detox, energy, like I was, your gut issues, healthy immune, inflammation, etc. Your genetics can tell me a lot about all these key areas, and we're going to cover some of these today. So, different genes have different needs. We are all unique, okay? So, we're going to be talking about nutrigenomics, which is the study of nutrition based on your own genetics. It tells us what your nutritional need is. The format. Before I understood this, I didn't realize I can't take and convert folic acid to the bioactive format in our body, right? It's like putting diesel fuel into that $1 million Ferrari I have sitting in my driveway. I don't, but you know what I'm saying. You would never consider doing that. And we know this, and we've known this for years. So why isn't everybody applying it? All right, it'll also tell me the ideal dosage, understanding your genetics, and the optimal cofactors. So let's start with DNA if you're new to it. It's your instruction manual. Whether you're man or woman, we're over 99% alike. The little difference that we have determines and dictates what we need, why we need it, to help optimize. Okay? We can't change the genes. You just can't. We're not CRISPRing them. You're not going to go CRISPR your whole body. But we can optimize where we have genetic weaknesses. So I'm all about small changes equaling big, big impact, right? But SNiP, I named the company SNiP. It stands for single nucleotide polymorphism. It's that little change, that variation. And for this presentation, we'll talk about changes, variations, glitches. But that's the reason for SNiP, okay? Not vasectomy. All right. It's not moving. Oh, there we go. So they shape who we are. I can't, like I said, I'm sorry if you are that person that's prone to a unibrow, or you're 5 foot tall and you want to be 6 feet tall. I can't change that, but your genes tell us your eye color, your hair color, etc., right? But they also tell us how we respond to food. I don't believe we are just what we eat. We are what we absorb and utilize in our bodies, right? And how we take this food and convert it to energy and how it supports us, okay? So I already said it. The small percentage that makes you different is what also tells me what you need. And this is why your best diet might not be your friend's, right? You always hear it, oh, I tried this, it did so much for me. Do you know how many times I did that over 11 years? Crazy. So what nutrigenomics comes to look at is we are looking at actionable genes. Remember the non-actionable, that height, that eye color, that hair color? What we're looking at are actionable genes. And all of those key areas I talked about, there's heavy-hitting key actionable genes that impact you in aging that we can ultimately offset, support, and nourish at the DNA level. So, I've already said it, nutrigenomics is where nutrition meets your genes, okay? It's not a trend, it is what's coming, and it's personalized just to your own genetics. So, they don't need magic, they need the right inputs. All these shiny little objects out there, we have to start with the foundation. When the foundation is set, everything else works better, okay? So let's talk about what this looks like in action. The gene on the left, when I say SNP, mutation, variation. The gene on the left, in the medical world, it's called wild type. I call it a green gene, right? It has the tendency and propensity to function optimally. The gene in the center, they call this heterozygous, one variant, one SNP, right? And the gene on the right are two variants. We know that the gene in the center and the gene on the right, you see there's nutrition under them. We know the one on the right, with all of the nutrition, the significant nutritional need, whatever it may be, can make the gene on the left function, or the gene on the right function like the gene on the left. So it makes it whole. That's what nutrigenomics has proven. So here's another example if you're visual. The gene on the left has a 66% functioning capacity. The gene on the right, we apply the nutrition, and it makes it function as a whole, okay? It's not about perfection. It's not. It's about precision. It's about you and only you. So here's what I believe, and I've seen it work thousands of times over. We start at genetic health. When you have these glitches, mutations, and then we ultimately optimize from there, our cells are healthier. When our cells are healthier, it leads to healthier tissues, which leads to healthier organs, which overall health. I want people to have the opportunity to age the best they can. For cardiovascular health, let's just talk about this really quick. They say that coronary artery disease is 50% lifestyle and 50% genetic. They say if you understood this and you could help offset your genetic dispositions, which are honestly pretty easy now, you can get up to 20 years of healthier living again. I mean, that's amazing, right? So, back to the 5 benefits. Let's cut through the confusion. Let's stop spending money on stuff that we don't need. Let's improve how they're absorbed. Reduce the risk of oversupplementation. This is something I see quite often. And follow a roadmap. Understand you. It's a beautiful thing. All right, so we're gonna talk about how your genes and body systems, so many people will look at one gene and they'll go, oh, based on this gene, you need to do this. But then they look at another gene, based on this gene, don't do this, okay? Genes work together, you guys. Our systems work in symphony together. And that's the beauty of hitting key actionable genes, how they all start to come together and play and work together, okay? All right, we're to case studies, and I've got some pretty, really great case studies based on how this works. Methylation, it is the master regulator of DNA. Has everybody in here heard about a methylation? Hands, yes? Okay. Methylation turns on and off everything in your body. If you look up MTHFR, you'll find, and I love to rattle this off, anxiety, depression, schizophrenia, women, childbearing years, can't get pregnant, spina bifida, common and recurrent miscarriages, chronic aches and pains, ADHD, fatigue, etc., okay? It impacts everything, right? This is that how you take and convert that folic acid, right? All right. So you see on the left, when you have variants, things that can be happening. On the right, clearer thinking and what can happen when you address. Next, detoxification. We need to make sure our bodies are detoxing, right? If not, you're carrying around those toxins in your body. That's one thing that was happening for me. I was just holding on to everything, and I call it tomato face. I was very thin, but I just looked inflamed everywhere. So let's talk about a case study. Real life impact. This is an amazing story of a young gentleman and his mother out of Houston, Texas. Young boy, 28, he's actually 29 now. Autistic, nonverbal, single words, OCD, stimming, panic attacks, etc. The mother said to me, she had gone to the provider. We work with providers as well as direct-to-consumer, but the young man, every time they ever tried to supplement the young man, because she's made it her life mission to help her son, every time they'd get him stuck in what we call a methyl trap. More anxiety, more stimming, more panic attacks. You'll see that there's the genetic insights. There's several genes that are mentioned there. It looks like alphabet soup. Don't expect you to know that. But let's talk about what happened with this young man. 2.5 weeks, the client called the doctor and said, I need to talk to her. She called me and I said, is there a problem? She said, no, it's actually quite opposite. Remember, this is a single word speaking young man, Again, it's not a miracle. It's not a miracle, and there's not just one thing. I don't believe that. But addressing this young man, after 2.5 weeks, he started talking full sentences to his mother. Panic attacks, very decreased. OCD, she was just blown away. Let's look at his blood work. On the left, you're going to see, this is not something from SNiP. This is from Genova Diagnostics. It's a Nutri-Eval. It's an organic acid test telling us about the nutrition and how his cells are working, right? You'll see on the left-hand side, that was before oxidative stress, inflammation, omega imbalance, methylation. I mean, you see, the lower the number, the better. 2.5 months, the mom went, and she retested him with her provider. They were shocked. I said, you only waited 2.5 months? And I said, I wish you would have waited 4. That's a really true red blood cell cycle. Drastic difference. We are partnering with Genova. We've just announced our first clinical. It'll be a real-world trial, and Genova will be part of it. So just great to see what truly has happened with this young man. It's been life-changing for him. Let's talk about inflammation, because inflammation is another big one. And a lot of people say inflammation is the root of all disease, right? Ultimately, this is Dr. Nori. She came to me and she goes, oh my gosh, I've been a nutritionist, a chiropractor, does a lot of different things. She goes, this just makes sense. Why wouldn't I? 6 months in, Dr. Nori plays a high level of tennis. She said, I was worried I wasn't going to be able to play. Knuckles so swollen and red. So addressing her genetics and all these key pathways, as you see, there's different pathways that are being addressed. Amazing results. Clear, smooth knuckles, increased joint mobility, recovery, etc. Let's keep moving. Many more people say inflammatory response. If you want to take a photo, not going to read them all. Cardiovascular function. This was something that the first time I saw my genetics and I didn't quite understand, I was like, oh my gosh, I've got every heart marker there is. It makes sense, right? I inherited it. We inherit from our mother and our father. But ultimately, as I said, we talked about coronary artery disease, but what if homocysteines and A1C numbers and triglycerides and keeping things in check were made a little bit simpler, and understanding that before you obtain those problems? So real life impact, cardiovascular health. This is Baron. This is actually my husband. I said, you've got to let me share, because my husband kept saying, I love your customized product, Kim. I do. He said, but I don't feel it. I said, you got to take it consistently, and let's track your blood work. So we started tracking his blood work. You can see all the genetic variants for him, but let's start watching his cardiovascular markers. Triglycerides, PSA numbers. I don't have the PSA numbers on here, but LDL, et cetera, decreased. We have hundreds and hundreds of these. It's hard to show in a quick presentation, but so gut and microbiome. Ultimately, we have genes that impact and tell us that, hey, you have a harder time absorbing vitamin B12, which is so crucial, right? And not only that, you grow more of the bad bugs than the good bugs. So bloating, et cetera, right? 93% of people that have tried a nutrigenomic approach have had a very positive response. We work with a lot of the SIBO community too, and believe it or not, they have done absolutely amazing with addressing from a genetic aspect. All right, healthy weight. Everybody's always worried about weight, right? All right. Ultimately, I got to share this story. This is Stephanie. She's actually here with me, believe it or not. On the left, Stephanie had already she'd gone vegan. It's what works for her. She'd lost 20 pounds, and she was at a dead stop. We applied from a nutrigenomic approach, and over the next year, she lost an additional 70 pounds. She's like, it's weird. It's just, now, I'm not saying this is not a weight loss thing. That's not what this is. We came in to approach her. She was already doing all of the other things, and the body started doing what the body needed to do. Come on. Did I turn it off? Oops. How do I go back?
The red
Okay, real life impact immune resilience. Are you one of those people that gets chronic colds, recovery time slow, et cetera? Yes, we have genes that impact that. This gentleman's chief complaints were the seasonal colds and getting sick, and then it lingering and missing a week or 2 weeks of work. So he's reported after the last 3 years of being on applying a nutrigenomic approach, he doesn't get those seasonal colds as much. Not only that, recovery time is much quicker. Couple more, histamine response and reactivity. We had a lady that came to us with more than what I could tell. I mean, it was just, she couldn't even go out in public of fear that the wrong scent or smell was gonna make her pass out. She was down to eating 6 foods, 6 food allergies, histamine response, et cetera. So, real life impact, this is Carol, 72 years old, and she is the person that was eating 6 foods. She's now traveling the world. We've got a great video from her talking that the first time in years, her husband loves fine wine, and she could never have a glass. Now she can. This is about life and living by optimizing your own genetics. Okay, we've got mood, ups and downs. Oops, sorry. This young lady, a 24-year-old school teacher out of Arkansas, her mom came to us and said, these mood swings, she's hangry, the anxiety, et cetera. So, yes, key genes can also help and support this. Okay, I'm gonna skip. So ultimately, the ultimate scope, if you're struggling in any of these areas, if you wanna find out about you, if you wanna address at the source, whether it's any of these key areas, nutrigenomics has proven that it works. It works and it supports you at that foundational level. All right, I got 7 minutes. So, a lot of people say, I'd love to do this with food. I'd love to do it with food too. I'm not a big supplement taker. I remember right before I understood nutrigenomics, I was taking somewhere between $300 and $400 worth of adrenal fatigue supplements every month. We weren't getting anywhere, but that's what it was doing. A lot of times you don't want to stick with it, and then suddenly you've got 30, 40, 50 bottles sitting there, and you're like, oh, I tried that for a week. I'd rather do it with food, but there's a point to this. Based on my MTHFR, the amount of folate that I need to eat 13 cups of spinach. That's a day. I love spinach. I don't think I could eat 13 cups a day, okay? For my alpha lipoic acid, for my FTO markers, those body mass index markers, I need 317 cups of broccoli a day. This is why people supplement, and I turn it into, and I can show you about food, right? SAMe is not available through food. B12, 39 servings of beef liver. I don't know how many people eat beef liver these days. I grew up in Missouri, so that was something we did do. And 16 servings of 16 servings of salmon to get the amount of vitamin D. You can't do it with food, right? You just can't. That's why we supplement, but let's supplement smarter. I don't think you need 60 jars. Okay, we know it's effective. We know nutrigenomics is effective. In the past, it was what your elites were doing. My technology is not new. They're spending $10,000. This is how I learned about genetics. My girlfriend mapped her son's genetics, 10 grand in 9 months. She was doing it because she was refusing to put him on ADHD medication. This is what I first learned. I was like, oh, that's fascinating, night and day difference. Most people can't afford that, right? It is complex, but how do you do it yourself? This is what we've created. You could order individual things. You could look at your genetics and you start doing it all. You could spend over $600 a month stacking more bottles, or you can do it in minutes a day. Meet Code Complex. This is what we've created. Code Complex, I can make over 3 billion different formulas. It's made for you based on your own genetics. It's foundational health, covering all those key areas that we just talked about, okay? It is not hype. It is to the microgram, plant-based nutrition, vitamins, minerals, micronutrients that your body says it needs, all based on science. On the left, this person was trying to do a nutrigenomic approach, hence the baboon with the hand over the face. And with Code Complex, you can bring that down to 1 jar. So we make it easy. We analyze, we match your DNA results to the nutrition that you need, and we custom compound it for you. So what's inside of it? Again, vitamins, minerals, micronutrients, whole foods, plant-based nutrition, telomere and longevity support. I am a stickler about ingredients, so please come see us at the booth. You can see what a supplement fact panel looks like. My goal of launching this company was to pull out all excipients. There is no excipients in our product, and it's very clean, third-party tested. This is part of a supplement fact panel. People start to look at it, and they're like, why is it not on the jar? It doesn't fit on the jar. It's too big. So we do develop it in both a raw powder or in a VeggieCap format. Purity, potency, precision. Completely HIPAA compliant with your genetic test. I'm looking at nutrigenomic genes that come into your portal. That's it. After that, nearly 75 different ingredients, CPMG certified facility. People like to ask these questions. I like to just hit it up front. Premium ingredients. I took my supplement fact panel to a compounding pharmacy once, and I said, will you make this for me? They said, give me 2 days. They came back to me for $650. They could make it, and they couldn't get all of the ingredients because they don't have the agreements with all the registered trademark companies. Again, I said I'm very specific about ingredients. So all the trust seals. The facility is in North Dallas, Texas, and that is the machine itself. There's a nice video online that you can see the whole process of what it looks like. So I'm going to close it with this, the feeling of fantastic, the science of feeling fantastic. Where do you struggle? Is it energy? Is it sleep? Is it digestion? Is it that you are hitting that age of your 40s and you're perimenopausal? That was, for me, was the shock. They were like, oh, you need bioidenticals. And I was like, for me at that time, I didn't need them yet. I needed to address my metabolic health, my foundation. Let's see. We do have a show special, but here's what I want you to take a photo of. Please, take a look at our YouTube. You'll get to hear a lot of different providers. I know a lot of providers came by yesterday, and I said, listen to what other providers are saying. In reality, all of us are so used to, you have a headache, you take an Advil, it gets rid of it, a pill for an ill, right? I want to go to the foundation of you and optimize from the inside out and go from there. And then you can continue your biohacks. Because again, this isn't the end all be all. This is foundational health. And after that, you can apply and understand where your weaknesses are to continue to strengthen yourself. So thank you so much.